How can I help? I do. I've been trying to come up with the best way to say this for some time, but I suppose I should just come out and say it. The truth is, I have come to depend on you. Not just for the sake of the mission, but for my own sake as well. I'm glad you're with us. Did I? I am trying to be sincere here. It occurred to me that I may have been too critical of you. Too demanding at times. I know my manner can be a bit taciturn. I know you must be getting sick of my lectures about the dark side and everything else. I spent all my years being hounded by my instructors, being told so often how gifted and important I was until I was sick of it. I remember when I was younger, I used to swear that I would never become as self-absorbed and stodgy as the Jedi Masters. It's ironic, really. I suppose not. But I am becoming like that, though it's not easy for me to admit. Being controlled has kept everyone around me at an arm's length. Even those like yourself who are most in need of my understanding and compassion. Maybe it's time to change that. You deserve to know how much I respect and admire you. I had to tell you how much I care for you. As a friend, of course. Please, it's not allowed. I have to remain true to the Jedi ideal. If this is going to cause a problem, maybe I shouldn't have said anything. Well, that was not nearly so difficult as I feared. Thank you for hearing me out. I feel much better. But enough soul-searching for now. We should probably continue on with our mission.
Yes, what's on your mind? Well, I'm not very good at this. I know I owe you an apology. More than one, probably. I was just so desperate to finally face Saul directly in the battle over Terrace. And now the Jedi have us looking for these star maps. I know this mission is important, it's just, I feel a bit useless. I mean, I can fight, sure, but I'm no Jedi. All this feels completely out of my league. Because this is more important. This may really finally make a difference. I suppose even if I can't figure out everything that's going on, I still want to help if I can. I just hate not knowing what's going on and feeling this helpless. But I shouldn't have taken that out on you. I've been a royal pain in the backside, haven't I? No, I do worry about it. I've traveled the lanes more than once. I should know better than this. So, I'm sorry. Will you accept my apology? Done. Let's get underway then, shall we, partner?
How can I help? Then I suggest we move on.
Yeah, what do you want? I think I'll tell you a bit about the recent war we had with the Republic. That might be more familiar to you. The one where Jedi Revan beat my people. We started by conquering worlds outside the Republic. We did it quietly so the Republic wouldn't really know what was going on until it was too late. When we finally did hit the Republic worlds, they had no idea we were coming. We came in through 3 invasion corridors in adjacent sectors. Anyone who put up a fight, or wouldn't fight, was crushed. We razed whole worlds trying to provoke the Republic into fighting us. I don't particularly enjoy wiping out worlds for its own sake, but the cowardly tactics the Republic defenders used left us little choice. They had a choice not to fight. We meet the enemy wherever they are hiding and we wipe them out. A few cities is a small price to pay for a world. Hiding in the homes of civilians, using families as shields, thinking we would not use appropriate force on their bases inside major cities. They underestimated our resolve, and what measures are acceptable in war. Those who cannot defend themselves should not be around those who can in battle. If annihilating a city is the kind of power it takes to overwhelm a Republic shield device, then that's what we did. Necessary force to destroy all opposition. I have no time or patience for cowards. They deserve to be hunted down and exterminated like vermin. There was no honor in wiping them out like rats. But some of your forces did redeem the Republic in our eyes. Especially later. Later, when Revan had joined the war. But we'll get back to that. We've wasted too much time already. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? I have been thinking much about our journey, and I am grateful and honored that you have accepted me with you. I am not used to such unbiased acceptance from one who is nearly a stranger to me. We KotOR do not make friends easily, or for long. Even on Dantooine, I remained alone. Not ostracized exactly, but separate. Yes, it was. I find it difficult to speak of those things. I do not want to live that way ever again. And here, it seems different. It is warming. I feel almost welcome. Needed. You seem to be very decisive when it is required of you. It is reassuring to know that I can count on someone like you. Yes, and that is my point. I find it difficult to explain. It is so different from what I am used to. Just thank you for accepting me.
Achua Penki, Yun Patisa, Tichuba Ki Mulira. Achua Penki, Yun Patis. Chiwi Aita Ka Chong Chicha, Chiwa Aita Kang Kichana, Tong Hitwama Ag Inko Tune. Tong Hitwama Ag Inko Tune. Portong Hitwama Ji Aki Chachiska, Jiska Dosoki, Kopa Bono Nakachu, Labora na Chiwi Aita Ka Chong. Ichuta! Topa na Ota Vokasa, Achua Penki, Yun Patisa. Chiwi Aita Ka Chong Chicha, Agi In. Tong Hitwama Agi Inko Tune, Portong Hitwama Ji Aki Inko, Jiska Dosoki, Kopa Bono Nakachu, Labora na Chiwa Aita Kang Kichana, Tong Hitwama Agi Inko Tune, Portong Hitwama Ji Aki. Achua Penki, Yun Patis. Tong Hitwama Agi Inko Tune, Portong Hitwama Ji Aki Inko Tun, Chiwi Aita Ka Chong Chicha, Agi In Chiwa Aita Kang Kichana, Ki Mulira. Ki Mulira Kun, Chiwi Aita Ka Chong Chicha, Agi In Chiwa Aita Kang Kichana, Jupor Ichuta. Ichuta. Kakincha Nawaki Muli. Ichuta. Kakiki. Nawabaki Mulira Kun King. Kakinja Nawaki Mulira. Ichuta Kakinja Nawaki. Ichuta Kakinji. kaki jaki muli. Ijuta kaki. Ijuta kaki. Ijut kaki. Ichuta kaki. Ichuta kaki. Ichuta kaki. Ichuta kaki. Ichuta kaki. Kakincana ki muli. Ichuta ki muli. Kakincana wabakaon. Ki muli rak. Chiwi aita kat. Ichuta. Ichi. Achua. Ichuta. Achua. Ichuta. 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 Ito. Jiki. Achua. Ichuta. Ichi. Achua. Chi. Ichuta. Achua. Kaki jaki muli. Ijo ki. Ki muli. Ijuta. Kaki. Iki. Kak. Achuape. Chi. Ijuta. I. Achua. Chi. Ichuta. Achu. Bahasan siyan. No ba mo chiwa ay takang kicha na chupornibo ki mulirak. Ki muli tong hitwama ag iingko tune achua penki yun patisa tichu diskadosoki kopa bono nakachu labora na winki smakto ki
Yeah, what do you want? We fought against the Republic forces for some time, over the course of many battles. At the start, they were not much of a threat to speak of. But once the Jedi Revan took charge, things began to turn against us. The Republic fleets began to use more than just basic tactics. Feints, counterattacks, mass deceptions. Revan was a genius on the field. Revan abandoned worlds of their defenders so that others would be too fortified to strike, and was willing to make sacrifices in order to advance goals. And in the end, Revan proved too much for us. There was no one else. The entire Republic had committed its forces behind Revan. The Sith had retreated back to their empire, and there were none else strong enough to challenge us. It looked like the entire galaxy was within our grasp. I still remember that final battle in the skies above Malachor 5. The two fleets filling the space around it, outshining the stars. It was not your ships or your men or your vaunted fight for freedom that won this, the final battle of the war. It was by the actions of one person, the Jedi Revan, that you prevailed. His strategies and tactics defeated the best of us. Even Mandalore himself was taken aback by the ferocity of his attacks, the tenacity of his defenses, and the subtleties of his plans. He fought us to a standstill, and then began pushing back. We really didn't have a chance. It was what we had wanted all along, in a way. We wanted to fight the best, in a battle that would be remembered for centuries. And we did. And Revan won. I don't hold a grudge against Revan, and neither do any of my people. It was the greatest moment of my life to be in that battle. If Revan had been a Mandalorian, nothing in the galaxy would have stopped us. But wishing for the past to be different is useless. Better look to the future, as we should now. We'll talk more later, I think. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Well, I suppose I have not talked very much about the Jedi I met back home. They, all of them, were so very invigorating. They were so very alive, so full of hope and energy and zeal. In retrospect, I can see it was a little bit tragic. Those Jedi were going to fight the Mandalorians just after they had invaded. Many of those Jedi perished in the fighting, but to us, they seemed invincible. Especially their leader, who they talked about all the time. Paragons of light and justice, sweeping away all iniquity before them. It was like looking at gods. I was merely using poetic license. Those Jedi, they were enthralling. Everyone wanted just to touch them. Some people thought it would bring them luck. Not that the peace they brought lasted very long. Of course they left. They had a war to go fight, so that we would not all be killed by those psychotic Mandalorians. The Jedi left. The people grew complacent. Those who had been wronged saw their chance at revenge. And so the cycle continues. The oppressed become the new generation of oppressors. The human oppressed, that is. The non-humans were never treated well in any case. We felt the brunt of both administrations. Yes, but humans seem the most pervasive, the most consistent. They took their frustrations and hates out on us because the people they wanted had already fled or were too well protected. But no one looks out for the injustices we suffered. Oh no, but I am sorry. I should not have outbursts like that. Don't you see? The very fact I mentioned it means it has its influence. Anger can lead to the dark side, and I must be ever careful that I do not fall back into those ways. I thank you for your support. My outburst was uncalled for, but But you did not lash back at me. You are a much better Jedi than I, it would seem. But let us not speak more of this now. We should continue on our journey. Perhaps later we will talk again.
Yes, what's on your mind? I already told you, he betrayed us all. Well, there is more to it. I'm sure you don't want to hear about it. It's just that I don't talk about it very much, okay? I told you about my homeworld, Telos. 4 years ago, Saul led the Sith fleet there and demanded its surrender. The planet refused, and Saul proceeded to devastate its entire surface. Millions died. I had a wife and a son on Telos. I thought they would be safe there, but my task force arrived too late to be of much help. We didn't have enough medical supplies. The colony was burning and the dying were everywhere. I remember holding my wife and screaming for the medics, but they didn't come in time. I had nothing left after that, really. I devoted myself to the fleet. Hunting Saul was my only purpose. I miss them, and I know killing Saul won't bring them back. And it won't make me happy again, but I have to do it. I don't expect you to understand, but I have to pay him back for what he's done. I have to. It's all I have left. Oh, it's all right. I don't mind. You deserve some kind of, explanation. She had courage, and she was stubborn. Could never talk her out of anything once she put her mind to it. And she hated it when I signed back onto the fleet at the start of the war. Now, I had planned on leaving soon, to join her. His name was Dustil, and I don't know what happened to him. The colony was a complete ruin, and we never found any trace of him. I made inquiries and followed the reports from Telos for years, but I stopped. Anyway, I hope that answers your questions. Let's continue with what we were doing.
How can I help? Am I so transparent? I suppose I shouldn't be surprised, considering our bond. Yes, there is something I would like to ask, if you'll permit it. In our time together, I've been watching you. You are a true servant of the light. You follow the tenets of the Jedi Order despite the lure of the dark side. And with so little training, for me it has always been a constant battle. Don't you find it difficult at all? You make it seem so easy, or is that only an illusion? You don't? Sometimes I find it is nearly all I can think of. I have never found the Jedi training easy to master. I've always struggled for control over my passions. I've always been too quick to anger, too quick to get involved. My instructors constantly berated me for it. I've often dreamed that I might be able to confront Darth Malak myself. I dream I can use all this power I have to kill him and stop all the death and destruction. I just think about all the evil that the Sith have caused, and I get so furious. Yet we are told that these feelings are the path to the dark side. I suppose I do. Part of me thinks that it would be worth anything to vanquish evil, even if it meant giving in to my base emotions. The very thought that I could become as evil as Malak, I just can't fathom it. It just doesn't seem possible. I mean, how could I... No. Wait, I'm sorry. I shouldn't even be asking you this. The Jedi teachings are clear. Who am I to question them? And even worse, who am I to try and make you question them? These are dangerous thoughts. The indulgence of a vain mind. Please, forget I ever mentioned this. Let's just return to our mission. How can I help? Then I suggest we move on. another vision. The Force is guiding us, helping us retrace the steps of Malak and his old master, leading us ever closer to the Star Forge. Kashyyyk is a lush but simple and undeveloped world. I would not have expected to find the alien technology of a star map here. The Wookiees of Kashyyyk make their home high among the Rosha branches. Only their bravest warriors dare to descend into the forbidding depths of the forest. If the star map is located far beneath us on the planet's surface, as our vision seems to suggest, it's unlikely the Wookiees even know of its existence. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location. How can I help? Yes, I did end that quite abruptly, didn't I? Perhaps a master could have addressed my questions with the proper wisdom, but I never should have brought it up here, not with you. Part of my purpose on this mission was to guide you in the way of the light, to help you avoid the temptations of the dark side. But I fear I've failed in that task. I don't think I'm the proper Jedi to guide you. I'm no master. You should have remained with the Council. The fact of the matter is, I have never possessed much skill at controlling myself. With the bond that joins us, it seems I have even less. You have maintained the path of the light side, but it has been in spite of my influence, not because of it. It's increasingly obvious I am unable to guide you properly. That's kind of you to say, but I think the evidence speaks for itself. I think I may have made a very big mistake. I simply hope that you are not the one who pays the price, ultimately, for the fact that I can't help you enough. That's a kinder response than I deserve, and I can see there is wisdom in your words. You continue to be there for me, don't you? Even after I keep pushing you away, you're still around when I need you most. You're like no man I've known before, and you're nothing like what I expected you to be after the Council sent us on this mission together. I need time to think about all this. They're not going as I thought they would. We should continue on with our mission for now. How can I help? Then I suggest we move on.
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
Yes. What is it? I have been bothered by something of late. I never told you where I came from, did I? Where I grew up as a child? I suppose I was trying to deny what I was feeling. I have been wrestling with my feelings inside, trying to come to terms with it, but I find I cannot. I must have someone to blame. Someone to blame for the destruction of my homeworld. Someone who is responsible for the death of everyone I have ever known, except those on Dantooine. Taris. It was Taris that the Sith destroyed to try to kill you and your precious Bastila. Taris, my homeworld. It was my home. If it were not for you and Bastila, the Sith would have never had reason to destroy that world. It was your fault for being there, and your fault for rescuing Bastila. Without your intervention, the Sith would have had no cause to lay waste to my childhood. Just let me vent my anger. I need someone to blame. Something. Anything. I hated that world. Yet everything I learned as a child, I learned there. It is as much a part of me as the air I breathe. I have this ache inside me, where all my childhood memories lay, and I find your face there with them. If it was not for you, that world would still exist. I know. I suppose I realized that. But it is so hard to lose your entire past. You would not understand. I suppose that is to be expected. Everything will turn out for the best, as long as we remain focused on our task. I am sorry. I will try not to distract you in the future with my trivial experiences. We should stop for now.
Yeah, what do you want? Here's a straight. There anything? Here's a speed. There anything else? Here's a straight. There anything? Hey, a real. There any? Your choice.
How can I help? You have been patient with me, haven't you? I suppose you deserve an answer. But you have to understand how difficult this is for me to say. With all my training, I should be able to control myself better than this. But you're not like anything I expected. You're not like any man I've ever met before. I find myself watching you when I don't mean to. I'm thinking about you when I don't want to. It isn't supposed to be like this. I don't know, it shouldn't be so hard not to think of you. It should be easy not to think of you. I should have discipline. Jedi discipline. Every time I try to call on all my teachings to calm myself, they fail me. You have such power, such passion. I don't know if it's due to the bond between us, but I'm drawn to you. The Force is a part of you, as is your power. But that's not what attracted me to you. It's more than that. Maybe it's the bond we share. It gives us a certain intimacy. If I could, I would return to Dantooine. I need to be away from this bond of ours. I need to weaken it. I need to be anywhere but near you. But Malak must be stopped. My own feelings are nothing when compared to that. Yet I know this could affect the sake of our mission if it's not resolved. I can't let that happen. I think we should have some privacy for this. Come with me. You're stronger than I am, and there's no point in telling me otherwise. You will be a great Jedi, I think. I hope. In some ways you make me feel weak, like I'm caught up in the wake of our destiny. But at the same time you make me feel stronger, more alive. I realize now these feelings are part of the bond we share. The Jedi Council surely realized this. They knew my loyalty to the doctrines of our order would be tested on this mission. By facing and overcoming my feelings for you, I've learned a valuable lesson about control and the dangers of emotion. This is an important step in understanding the Force. I'm sorry if this is not what you wanted to hear, but I felt that it was important you know our infatuation was nothing more than a result of our powerful bond. You're the one who can't face the truth. Malak has to be stopped. How can I do that if I let myself be blinded by my feelings for you? You mean it, don't you? But how can I be sure you're not making a mistake? I have to resist. I have to be strong for both of us. But I can't. Malak will... Okay, you've made your point. Now shut up and kiss me, you fool. We shouldn't have done that. It was wrong. The Jedi are not allowed to fall in love. It was a moment of weakness. When I kissed you, we shouldn't have. I'm sorry. No, I know we both wanted it, but we shouldn't have given in to our desire. We're Jedi. We can't act like this. Not now. Not while we still have to deal with Malak. I'm sorry. I don't blame you, but it was a mistake. I have to get out of here before somebody sees us together.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Taris was my home for many years. As much as I hated it, it was still home. A rat hole, a warren, a paradise. I suppose you could call it all these things. For me, it was hell. To walk down the streets, to have people look at you in disgust, like an animal. Most did not know anything about me, but it was there, all the same. Because I was an alien. Because I was different from them. Frightening. I doubt any of them had even seen my people before. So they persecuted me. They looked down on me and my family. Charged us more for food. Would not let us walk their streets. They spat on us. You are human. You could not possibly know. That is true, I suppose. But it is much more obvious for someone like me. There were no other KotOR on Terrace. No one to talk to, no one to confide in. But you must think me weak for saying this. But I am strong enough to admit it. I thank you for your concern, but maybe I am weak. To think that some stories of my stupid past could possibly interest you. I thank you. You are kinder than I would have expected to put up with me using you in this way. I hope that I will not use your time so badly in the future. Thank you.
Kukumo no ba mulira chikun. Jedo badawana ni dibobo. Dong. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Ta kumjus tak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu. Kachikun ida hodonga. Iking kuno. Tong haitwam jiji jum lumpa. Nita poetic. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Wanakunbe ta kumjus tak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu itabo. Kachikun ita hodonga. Iking kuno. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Kachikun ita hodonga. Iking kun. Runda di hodonga kun hankabi. Kachikun ita hodonga. Iking. Achuta. Wonga kun.
How can I help? We've already been over this. It was a moment of weakness, a stumble brought on by unbridled passions. But my emotions are firmly in check once more. We need to stay focused on stopping Darth Malak. And I want the others to stay focused as well. I don't want them to get suspicious and start gossiping about our little encounter. So until our mission is over, we need to act with discretion. We shouldn't speak of this anymore. Not until Malik is defeated.
Muchachak bakat. Kieno no namapaule.
Greetings to you. Something I can get for you?
Kindly direct your inquiries to me. Martin is merely an indebted employee. His opinions don't amount to much. So, new spaces have come to Wild Kashyyyk. Please, look well upon the wares of Eli Gand. I live to serve your needs.
Just be sure to pay cash. The interest on his loans will drain you like a diluvian fatworm on a hut's backside.
First off, hearts are all backside. Secondly, I don't much like the comparison. No need to get personal. It's just business. Poor fellow. He's been waiting for his friends to return with my money for a standard month now. But you don't need to hear this. What can I get you? Enslave? I resent that. Simply fair business. This man's fellows left without settling their debts, so he must make up the difference.
I know, it's standard trading rules. I just want to know where my crew went. I was only gone for 2 days. This isn't like them.
Yes, very sad that they would abandon you, especially while you were doing me a favor and helping repair one of my freighters. You think you know someone and they turn out to be a cheat. Oh, not like you, Matt. You honor your deals. A word is a bond in trade. It happens from time to time. Credits are scarce out here, and not everyone is as honest as Mr. Daisel here.
An honest man and a good mechanic. Seems like you got a favorable trade, sir.
You'll get your money. My crew will be back.
Of course they will. Until then, however, I can make use of you as a mechanic. Very rare to find skills of your kind out here. Oh, it isn't about the amount. After all, as a skilled mechanic, Matin is worth much more than what is owed, especially on this remote planet.
Oh, you flatter me, Eli. I guess we're best buddies now.
As I was saying, it's a matter of principle. I'm nothing if not honest in my dealings, and I demand the same. He'll be free to go when his friends turn up and the debt is paid. I honor my deals. Let no one say otherwise.
Thanks, but no thanks. No offense, but there's no point in exchanging debt to Eli with debt to you.
Besides, he is a hard worker. I'd prefer to keep him. Of course, I'm here to serve. I don't concern myself with what goes on past this landing port. The Wookiees are very difficult to deal with. No business sense.
He means they don't tolerate cheats.
No, I mean they don't respect the finer points of a good business plan. Give and take. That's why the Zerka Corporation simply takes. You'd have to take your question to the Zerka Corporation and the Wookiees themselves. I keep to myself. Of course, I'm here to serve. Of course, you're in a hurry.
Welcome to Edean. I trust you will find our facilities pass inspection. Zerka Corporation is very efficient. I'm sorry, I don't understand Wookiee speak. Shiri-Wook, I think it's called. What did the Wookiee say? Zerka Corporation calls the planet Edean, and no, I don't understand the language. The local Wookiee leader has made it so we don't need to. Wookiees are unable to speak Basic, but for the last decade, the residents of all local villages have been trained to understand it. I understand he works very closely with Zerka Corporation. He wants his people to work well with us. It eases tensions. What did he say? I don't usually have a translator I can ask. I just work here in the lab. I don't have anything to do with the taking of slaves. I'm just an employee. You'll have to take your concerns to Janos. He's the voice for Zerka Corporation on this outpost. I don't have to justify myself to you. I do good work here. If you're looking for trouble, go somewhere else. I'm conducting experiments on various samples of indigenous plant life. There may be untapped pharmaceutical resources here. Of course, that will take some time, and the Wookiees are a more immediate source of income. Please, I must return to my work. Farewell.
There's so much to learn about this planet, but they keep us cooped up in here. I do my job and keep my mouth shut. Maybe I can do some good if I stay out of people's way. Our work here could be very important if any effort was put into it. Our work here could be very important if any effort was put into it.
You wish to tell us more about this agreement with the Wookiee leadership.
Hold here, Spacer. Zerka Corporation doesn't recommend traveling in wild Edean. Katarn attacks are especially bad right now. Wookiee hunters usually keep numbers down, but I think they leave certain areas infested, just hoping a Zerka guard will get killed. I won't stop you, but you leave this area at your own risk. We're here to protect the company, not you.
This isn't good. I can't afford this. You think I can? Do you know what they get for a healthy one of those things?
We'll work it out later. We've got company. What do you want, Spacer? I'm Patrol Captain Deno, and you're interrupting Zerka Corporation business. This Wookiee slave got a little rebellious. We had to put it down.
Careful now. That growl sounded pretty threatening. Keep your slave on its leash or we'll have another accident.
Just shut up, you trigger-happy idiot. Of course they don't. Why would you ask me that? Doing some sort of snap inspection? You're trying to get me to admit to incompetence, aren't you? Not going to happen. I stand by my patrol. This Wookiee got out of hand and had to be put down. We'll find another easy enough. Is that a joke? Who do you think you are? You make some sense. I wonder what you know about what might happen here. Man, I think we should petition for a transfer. The corporation will survive a fight here, but us frontline guards won't.
If you say so, Captain.
Yes, I say so. Move out. This place just isn't worth the trouble.
I'm here.
Sure.
There, take that. You cannot win!
Lord Malak was most displeased when he learned you had escaped Terrace alive. He has promised a great reward to whoever destroys you.
You cannot win!
Lord Malak was most displeased when he learned you had escaped Terrace alive. He has promised a great reward to whoever destroys you.
Yes?
Sure. Sure.
Then I suppose we have little choice. We should proceed with caution, however.
What?
Yes?
What?
can I do?
Sure.
Watch yourself. Even more of these crawling beasts are hiding in the underbrush. I'm Jolie. Jolie Bindo. Follow me to my camp and we'll talk a bit. Don't start fawning just yet. I'm too old for it. I know a few things, but we can talk about it. Keep close. It's nearby under a log. Yeah, I live like some burrowing rodent. I fought the Sith. Now look at me.
Yes?
What?
Well, welcome to my home, such as it is. Pull up a stump and be comfortable. We should discuss a few things. You'll have nothing but time if you don't take what help you can. I've been here for many years. I know things. Remember that. My days of glory are behind me. Perhaps there is something I can do for you. You must have questions. Yes, among the Wookiees. Intriguing creatures. I like that they have little patience for bureaucrats. Of course, even here, there are hidden things that manipulate. Maddened with grief, perhaps, but not crazed. I helped him pass to the lower forest where only a Wookiee could follow. Some other matters will determine if you can follow. There is a barrier that, well, we'll talk about that more in a moment. On the body of Roror, I know. His death will not go unnoticed. I've been wondering how this foolishness would play out. I am no weaponsmith, but someone in the village will be able to identify the owner of that boat casing. They are very personal items. Circa Corporation was smart to put him in power. He's as good at destroying Wookiee culture as dropping corpses full of Ardroxian flu. Will you work for him or against him, I wonder? I will be interested to see. Fine, just be brief. Now, why would you be asking about that? Don't answer. I knew that had to be why you were here. The problems of a few Wookiees don't amount to anything before the concerns of the Jedi. No, you are here for the map. Kashyyyk is an interesting place, more so than anyone suspects. If Circa Corporation knew, the planet would be a strip mine. The Wookiees have their legends that they were not always here. But it is more than that. The trees themselves are strangers. What I'm saying is that there are literally walls in your way, and you won't find what you need without my help. And my help has a price. You must do a task for me, and then allow me to join with you. I will then remove certain barriers in your path. Oh, save it. I know this sounds absurd, but I'm old and entitled to work you around a bit. Besides, the test is simple. Since they began expanding in the Shadowlands, the Circle have left me alone for the most part. Until recently, anyway. A group of them set up camp not far from here. Poachers is all they are. I'd like them removed from this place. They don't respect this place. They're butchering wildlife and threatening entire species. It's getting under my skin. The Wookiees could take care of themselves if they wished, but the animals are truly helpless victims. Oh, please, this is arbitrary errand work. But such are the requests of the age. You still have to do it. Their camp is in the far northeast. Now remember, if I wanted them dead, I'd do it myself. Find a better way. Good. Return to me here and we'll see how you have done. Shoot! Shoot!
Mild playback.
I don't get it. That merchant said there was salvage down here. We need Matt to work the sensors.
Playback.
When he gets back, we'll... Wait, I'm getting something. Oh good, it's Eli. Maybe he'll point us in the right direction.
Playback.
Eli, what are you... You got your money, you double-crossing snake? We had a deal!
Playback.
I don't get...
Play. Shutting down.
What can I do?
are you, another civil merchant like that Koro slime up on the docking ring? This is my territory. I don't make deals, and I don't persuade easily, so go back topside. Mess with my profits, and I'll see you dead. So you're playing tourist. That isn't smart. The Shadowlands are all business. Mess around, and you'll end up dead. That said, if you want to make some credits while you're looking to die, I might have a job for you. Good. I'm not down here to direct traffic.
Anything, you'll have to talk to the commander. Okay, there's no need to get like that. The commander just prefers everyone to go through him first. I'm just a guard for this emitter. Why couldn't they have just equipped this lump of tech with a blaster and left me at home? I'm not here because I know stuff. I handle a blaster well enough to guard this emitter, and that's it. Talk to the commander. No more dangerous than walking out on the commander. He'd kill me for disobeying orders. I'm not here because I know stuff. They generate a sonic barrier that allows us to stay in this wonderful location. It keeps the big predators away. I don't know how it works, really. I just know that if they go down, the camp would be overrun. What of it? Friendly people like you that recruited me into this mess. I'm keeping an eye on you, that's for sure. I'm not here... No more What do you want to know? That sounds like a fair deal to me. Here, use this code to access the one I'm guarding. Enough of those emitters go down, and the camp will have to move out. But I never said anything. You want anything, you'll have to talk to the... Why am I here? I'm here because this is where the commander told me to stand. And that's all there is to it. I'm just a guard for this emitter. Why couldn't they have just equipped this lump of tech with a... What do you want to know about that? It's just one of 5 or so sonic emitters protecting the camp. It's... That sounds like a fair deal to me. Enough of those emitters.
What?
Run! Run!
Yes?
What?
What can I do?
What?
Welcome back. I wonder, have you had much luck? Have you done as I asked? Yes, I could feel it as you walked near. And I don't sense the smell of death on you. You spared them. Interesting. Wasn't there? I suppose not, but the environment would say otherwise if it could talk. No matter. I know where you want to go. I can get you through to the old paths. This forest hides some strange things. There's also a Zerka repulsor field blocking the way, past the poacher camp in the east. I saw it when it was installed, so I know how to pass it. And on the other side, ancient answers. And perhaps a Wookiee you are seeking. I hope you're in the mood for visitors. And you need?
What?
Got something on your mind, dude? Oh, I get it. There, you see? Beautifully subtle, isn't it? At least compared to the other circuit equipment dumped down here. It's only been here a short while, or the Wookiees would have disabled it. They wouldn't have had an easy time of it, though. You aren't going to ask about it? A repulsor field in the woods and you have no interest? All right then. How'd it go? There we go. Now, keep moving. These are the most dangerous depths of Kashyyyk. A few surprises wait for us, I'll wager.
You cannot
Yes?
Not this again!
Let's make this. You cannot win.
He's almost feral after all this time. Calm yourself, Freya. We are friends. Don't you remember me? Well, this may prove difficult.
Get it?
First saw him, I helped his pursuers lose him for a moment. Do you remember me now, Freya?
What can I do?
quick. So be it.
I still got it. Never too old for this.
Yes?
Yes? What?
There.
Yes?
Not this again! Take that!
Sure.
Interrupted our hunt, interloper. The inhabitants of this world can do little against us, but you appear to be a threat. Our training here will continue without your interference.
So be it.
Yes? Sure.
Life forms detected. Determining parameters. Initiating neural recognition.
Yes, there's the thing. Obstinate machine. I've no doubt it holds what you seek. Good luck getting it operational.
Primary neural recognition complete. Preliminary match found.
Match found? What the... It always muttered something about rejected patterns for me.
Begin socialized interface. Awaiting instruction. Greetings. This terminal has not been accessed for quite some time. Error. Subject displays unfamiliarity to environment. Behavioral reconfiguration will be needed before access. I am sorry. I did not mean to confuse you. I will answer questions to the best of my programming limitations. Corruption has resulted in gaps appearing in my memory, and in that of the original installation. It could be theorized that these gaps are intentional, but I have no information on that. Accessing. Yes, I have found a star map in original system memory. Access is restricted. I utilize a retro-adapted holocron interface. Clarify your questions, and I will attempt to access original system memory. Error. Corruption. Extrapolating. This utility was built to monitor planet-wide agricultural reformation. It has since malfunctioned. It can be theorized that the supergrowth of Kashyyyk forests is a direct result.
Well, that is surprising. I doubt any Wookiee would support such a claim. The forest is millennia old.
Malfunction occurred 241 years after last builder communication. Last builder communication, 29,642 years before current Republic standard. Error. Information regarding the builders of this installation has been corrupted. No evidence of such a civilization exists in the galactic record. Agricultural record indicates this planet was incapable of sustaining sufficient levels of production. Error. Specific conditions corrupted. It can be theorized that produce was being exported to support a larger demand. Error. Records corrupted. It can be theorized that bioseeding allowed the ecology to remain balanced. It could be expected that the same energy feeding the trees of Kashyyyk also accelerated the evolution of various species. No further information is available. There is too much corrupted data. Accessing. I will answer as my programming permits. This interface was installed to better access the ancient data stored within the pre-existing system. The exact date is unavailable. Programming keys indicate no earlier than 5 years before current Republic standard.
5 years ago? I didn't notice it. This must have been installed in strictest secrecy. Couldn't have been circa.
No other information on time of installation or identity of user available. Likelihood of removal by user, 100%. Error. Data regarding subject Revan corrupted. Error. Data on Revan unavailable. Sorting by identity. 3 attempts by the Wookiee Freyer, all denied. 152 attempts by human Jolie Bindo, all denied.
Call me stubborn, I guess. There wasn't much else to do around here.
Error. List of access attempts prior to these is corrupted. Likelihood of removal by user, 100%. That information is unavailable, but contact is not required for the execution of my programming. Scanning range of this facility is well beyond planetary boundaries. Accessing. I will answer as my programming permits. Error. Corruption. Extrapolating. It has since malfunctioned.
Well, that is surprising.
Malfunction. Accessing. The current purpose of this installation is defense. Error. That information is not available. Accessing. I will answer as my programming permits. Answer will be given within the limits of my programming limitations. I have been programmed with a very limited field of knowledge, and I must restrict access to only those that fit my allowed pattern. I can't say. I will try to bring forward the behavior that you need to proceed, as outlined by my programming. I can't say. Preliminary matching allows for you to be coached. I can't say. Likelihood of restriction by previous user, 100%. Corruption has resulted in gaps appearing in my memory, and in that of the original installation. It could be theorized that these gaps are intentional, but I have no information on that. Accessing. Yes, I have found a... Error. Data regarding author of the star map is corrupted. Your request requires additional security access. You must be made to match the parameters I have been supplied. Then you are not worthy of further access. You will be rejected as unsuitable. Information unavailable. If you have further questions, ask them now. Access will terminate with success or failure of evaluation. Evaluation commencing. Result will be compared against the pattern in memory. Just act like you should. You travel with a Wookiee and have encountered complications. Hypothetical. You and this Zalbar are captured and separated. If you both remain silent, 1 year in prison for each of you. However, call Zalbar a traitor, and he will serve 5 years, while you serve none. He is offered the same deal. But if you both accuse the other, you both serve 2 years. What do you do? What do you trust him to do? I hear what happens on Kashyyyk, and a good deal beyond. Answer the question I have posed. Are you sure? If you turn, you risk 2 years, or none at all. If you reply on loyalty, you risk 1 year, or 5. Your loyalty is dangerous. Your companion could take the opportunity to benefit by turning on you. Zalbar's family is mired in treachery. What loyalty do they know? Your answer is incorrect. You cannot refuse. Evaluation must continue. You must match the pattern in memory. Your memory. I must demand honest acceptance of the proper behavior. That is a condition of my programming. The previous incorrect response will be discounted. Future incorrect responses will result in rejection. Hypothetical. You are at war. Deciphering an intercepted code. You learn 2 things about your enemy. A single spot in their defense will be at its weakest in 10 days, and they will attack one of your cities in 5 days. What do you do with this information? What is the most efficient course of action? Very good. If you had moved to evacuate the city, you would have alerted the enemy to their lost codes. Ultimate victory required the deaths of the people in that city. You wisely ignored sentiment in your decision. Very good reasoning. I will apply it to the rest of the evaluation. You begin to match the pattern in memory. Hypothetical. Remove the ongoing war from the previous example. Consider enemy states to be weak and remote. With no external threat, your empire stagnates. Your people become complacent and begin to question you. Same scenario as before. You discover an impending attack, but also a weakness that will come after. How do you react? Of course you do. It makes the most strategic sense. Your people will rally beneath you against the common foe. As their eyes turn outward, your rule will strengthen. The trappings of war grant many opportunities. You have matched the pattern in memory. I recognize you and will fulfill my designated function. I am programmed to guide, not inform. Soon you will recognize the proper course to follow. The star map is yours. This unit has now completed its primary duty and has finished with the subject. Executing final action. Activation of star map commencing. Parameters reset. Stasis initiated. End communication.
Well, a star map. An ancient artifact of dark side power. Can't say I'm surprised. I always knew there was something funny down here. I wonder if the star map has had an effect on the evolution of the creatures here in the Shadowlands. Might explain why it's so dangerous down here. An interesting theory. I suppose we don't have time to test it now, do we? Now that we've got what you came for, we should be heading back up to the treetops.
Yes?
What?
be it. So be it.
Take that!
The Force fights with me. What can I do?
Yes?
Let's make this
Not this again!
Yes?
What?
What can I do?
Sure.
This will end in sadness. Don't say I didn't warn you. Painful end, but perhaps it is the right thing to do. We shall see.
Yes. What is it? I was remembering Taris. It was a horrible place to have to live. At least in the lower cities where the non-humans tended to get relegated. Living for years in a place with no sun, living off the trash dropped from the upper levels, and the meager pay doing back-breaking labor. There was always the danger of raccoons coming up from the sewers, or more mundane predators living and working in the area. My family and I struggled each and every day to make something of our lives. But we could only go so far. Taxes from the corrupt government, more fees from the gangs controlling the streets, and whatever was left paying for what food and medical supplies we could afford. It did not, but only because of the Jedi who came. It was very bad. With no money to spare for any amenities, even the Enclave on Dantooine seems a paradise in comparison. And of course, there was the constant bigotry and hate from the more affluent and human citizens, lording their wealth over us living below. Every once in a while, a rich human would come down through the lower levels with his droid entourage just to see how the wildlife lived, and laughed at the mockeries that were our successes. But I have come to meet many decent humans in my travels since those days. Indeed, some of the greatest people I have ever met are human. The Jedi who encouraged me to join the Order, the one who was with the group going to fight the Mandalorians, she was human. I am sorry. I am getting away from my point, if there even was one. Sometimes I curse the day my parents fled to Taris, but then again, if they had not, I would not be where I am today. Another story for another time. For now, we must continue our own epic, to save the galaxy, if we can.
Got something on your mind, dude? I suppose I could whip up something, a few herbs and such. You do know that the best alternative is not to get hurt, right? Well, not to say that you go leaping into the path of blaster fire or anything, but I know how you young people get. Here, take it. Got something on your mind, dude? I have no idea what you're talking about, Ramble. What are you saying? Got something on your mind, dude? Oh, I know plenty about Kashyyyk. You think someone doesn't live here for 20 years and pick up a thing or two? Chances are, by the time I finish telling you about it all, you would have found out for yourself. So there's no reason for me to start blathering on. It should be enough for me to tell you that there's kilometer after kilometer of trees on this planet. The deeper you go, the more dangerous it gets. If you're smart, you stay on top with the Wookiees. You go deep, however, and you may find some things you weren't expecting. And that's about all I got to say about that. Now, let's get going. Oh, I get it. Let's play with the old man's head, is it? He's half senile. He'll forget I said anything. Wait, what was this about anyway?
Yeah, what do you want? The war we had with the Republic was supposed to be the most glorious battle in our history. But it was a very costly one. I guess we didn't think of how much we could lose in it. There weren't many of us after that last battle. Mandalore himself was killed at the hands of the Jedi Revan. The best of us could not defeat him. After that last battle, those of us that survived were stripped of our weapons, our armor, and our basilisks. Revan's forces destroyed them while we were forced to watch. Those who hadn't fled earlier were left with nothing to call their own. No weapons, no armor, only the honor of having fought in the battle we just lost. For many, this was not enough. While the rest of us were sent into exile on the Outer Rim, they tried to relive the old days, raiding worlds. They're nothing more than bandits now. Yeah, I found word on Taris. And forcing for Davik was not stimulating. The gangs on Taris and Davik's rivals were trash. They give no thrill in battle, no honor or glory in defeating them. It was like stepping on bugs. I sought worthy challenges, but the best that Taris could offer were nothing to me. But I think now, with you, I may finally find opponents worth fighting. Maybe later I'll tell you more about what it was like to work for Davik. For now, though, we should get on with our lives. Is there something else you want to know? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Yes, what's on your mind? You got it.
Kalonord is dead, Lord Malak. He has failed in his mission. Forgive me.
The penalty for failure is death, Admiral Kareth. But the failure was Kalo's, not yours. You may rise.
Shall I hire another bounty hunter, Lord Malak?
No mere bounty hunter can stand against a Jedi. I shall not make the same mistake again. My apprentice, Darth Bandon, shall take care of our young Jedi friend. Find Bastila and bring her to me, alive, if possible.
As you command, Master.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? I have been doing well, I suppose. As well as I can. But I am more interested in you right now. Do not mistake me. It is just that, even though we have traveled together for a while, it seems I know next to nothing about you personally. We have been traveling together since Dantooine, but I know nothing of you before that. Would you humor me and tell me a little bit about yourself? Your job, your childhood, your life? I I'm sorry if I am making you uncomfortable. I will fully understand if you choose not to answer. I greatly appreciate your taking the time to talk to me. How did you come to be on Dantooine, besides the obvious, of course? Terrace. It always seems to come back to Terrace for me. I am sorry, I get distracted. What did you do before that? A life in the army. Not my career of choice, though. We KotOR cannot seem to adjust to regimented organizations like the military. But I have heard that it appeals to males of your species. Fighting? Defending? That is what we as Jedi seem to be called upon to do. Perhaps we are not as unalike as I had previously thought. But again, I seem to be wasting your time with my carrying on. I apologize.
Got something on your mind, dude? How many could you possibly need? And besides, I don't have enough supplies on me to put some more together. Ask me later when you're actually in need and I'm less tired. I'm not a kit factory, you know. Got something on your mind, dude? You got yourself a fast little ship? I'd forgotten what engine sounded like. The closest thing to that on Kashyyyk is an uller in mating season. Ugh, frightful. Or it could be for the free food. What's the gunk that comes out of the synthesizer on this bucket anyway? Do you never clean the darn thing? How impatient can one person be? You must have driven your mother mad. All that gurgling and fussing. Babies are cute, but annoying. You know, you remind me of someone else I knew ages ago. Pleasant enough fellow, great destiny, all of that. Breath like a bantha. So I am. Tell you what, when you get to be my age, you can go ahead and answer any question you like to. You have my permission. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, Andor Vex was his name. The Force swirled around him like a hurricane. That's how great his destiny was. I did. Just because someone has the Force swirling about them doesn't always mean they have a great destiny. But it doesn't hurt to check it out. Well, it turned out that poor Andor believed a wee bit too much in the infallibility of that destiny. That overconfidence turned out to be his downfall. I am not. I've no need to make things up. With my poor memory and all. You just sit still and let me finish, damn it. Let's see. Oh yes, Andor's downfall. I was pretty young myself when it happened. At the time, I thought that Andor's destiny couldn't be more boring. Well, let's just say that I was a strapping young lad with a full head of hair, and Coruscant was a small town with a well. I was just about to abandon Andor to whatever the Force intended for him when his ship was overtaken by a Dimian warship. Now, you've probably never heard of the Dimians, but at the time, they were a nasty lot led by a nastier overlord named Krat. Tall fellow, big teeth. Krat has us hauled onto the bridge of his ship for questioning, and that's when I knew that Andor's destiny was at hand. Swirling Force, remember? Jedi here. Granted, I was just interpreting the signs, but we get trained in that sort of thing, more or less. Well, Andor decides that his destiny makes him invulnerable and starts making all sorts of demands. Free me now. I'm not answering questions. Blah, blah, blah. Don't you know who I am? Yeah. Krat decides he's had enough and begins crushing Andor's neck. I told the boy he should have kept his mouth shut. I think he agreed too, or those could have just been gurgling noises. Oh, well, anyway. Finally, Krat has enough of Andor and tosses him aside into this giant energy intake shaft. Andor gets sucked in and starts bouncing around, screaming. Maybe Andor hit something sensitive on the way down, or just didn't agree with the reactor core. Next thing I know, all the ship's alarms are ringing. Everyone panics, and I run, barely making it to the ship in time before the explosion. Krat dies horribly, and the Dimians never quite recovered. Changed the political course of the entire sector for centuries to come. I'd call that quite a destiny, wouldn't you? Well, now that's the ingratitude of youth for you. I relate an exciting tale, and do I get thanked for it? No, it's all me. Anyway, go on. My throat is dry and you're making me cranky. Shoo!
Yeah, what do you want? Hey, don't worry. I think you've got enough there as it is. A real war, there anything. Your choice.
Ready?
What?
Just grunky to pacnimo. Ci ita kanki.
Nasz Evangelist, Lenar Esrekanda Kostan, and Rashla.
Achua penki. Yun pati. Hava! Yun pati sa.
Nasz Evangelist, Lenar Lest.
Tong hitwama ag iinko tune. Portong hitwama ki mulira kun ki. Ki mulira. Ichuta. Yun patisa. Tong hitwama ji human ak in ikatune. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Agi inko tune chuna muri ki mulira. Ki mulira. Ki mulira. Chiwi aita ka chong chicha. Ichuta ki muli. Ki.
I have been watching you for some time. I wonder if you have noticed. I have been thinking of how far I had fallen, and how you exemplify the code of the Jedi. I find myself ashamed. Your power in the Force is strong, and I can sense no taint of the dark side in you. That makes my shame even worse. That I had so easily fallen to the dark side, that I could convince myself that by injuring my master, I became a great force of evil in the galaxy for my pride, my hubris, for the inner rage that all of my species feels. Sometimes I wish that I had not been born this way. I am sorry. I start to talk thinking about how you stay strong to the path of virtue and justice, and I find myself whining again about my own inadequacies. The Council would be proud to see that you had learned your lessons so well. How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Well, I mentioned before that my parents had fled to Taris. Perhaps I can tell you about that. In the early days of the Mandalorian War, there had been fighting closer to the Outer Rim worlds. KotOR was there, yes. My people had a great reputation as warriors, and that appealed to the Mandalore version of honor. They sought to test themselves against us, I think. Test themselves by bombing our world, slaughtering my people while they slept or while they ran. They swooped down from space, across the world, firing at anything that moved. They used ships in space to destroy all orbital facilities and bombard the surface. We did resist, and in spite of their violent attack, we did stave them off for quite a while. But in the end, we were doomed. We were not members of the Republic. KotOR was beyond the edge of the Republic, in the Outer Rim. And besides, they could not have known. Our interstellar communications were the first things the Mandalores hit. All other short-range communicators were jammed. We were on our own. We knew what was coming. We had fought the Mandalorians in the first war against Exar Kun and the Sith. We knew there would be no mercy for us. The most we could do was pack the few of our people who survived onto what few ships remained and send them off into space as fast as they could. Most did not make it. My parents carried me as a baby with them and were lucky enough to escape. They fled as far as they were able and eventually settled on Taris. They could stand running no further, I think. But Taris was a horrible choice. Dominated by humans, intolerant of other species, it made everyday life unnecessarily hard. My father turned to stimulants. He spent much of his time in local bars and dives. But we are warriors. It runs through our blood. And when he was on stims, he became foolish. He let his warrior nature get the best of him. So he would get intoxicated, and he would fight. And finally, one day, he would die. Killed by a man who provoked him into a fight and killed him like an animal. I am sorry. I cannot talk about this any longer right now.
Yeah, what do you want? Your choice. I'm here if you want something done right.
Got something on your mind? No, I never did I? Elusive? Me elusive? Obviously, you've never tried to grab a Twi'lek dancing girl after drinking too much Onderan Willick juice. At any rate, I already told you why I wanted to leave. I'd seen everything I wanted to on Kashyyyk. Time to go. Time to move on. You live in an overgrown stump with a tax beating down your door, and you tell me how happy you would be. I was pleased just to have visitors. How many kilometer-high trees can you find an interest in before you figure you've had enough? I'd bet you can't be bothered to stay in one room for more than 15 minutes. And then there's all the critters in the Shadowlands. I'm just happy to be back in space, doing something new. Is that too much to ask? So I could. Well, not having a ship does tend to put a damper on that kind of idea, however. I'll admit, for all its flaws, Kashyyyk was home enough. But when you came along and I saw the destiny you had before you, I couldn't help but be intrigued. Of course not. Weren't you listening last time? I can see that you have a destiny before you, but the details are far from clear. In fact, everything about you that I can see is odd. Slightly off, as if my eyes are trying to trick me. Something is very dark about you. But, I'm sure you don't need to hear my ruminations. You've probably got enough nosy Jedi offering you one opinion after another to make you sick. Your future will come of its own accord, trust me. Sometimes navel-gazing at it doesn't get you anywhere. I wouldn't worry about it too much if I were you. You remind me a bit of Nomi. And that can't be all bad. Nomi Sunrider. She came late to the Force, just as you have, and became one of the greatest Jedi ever. Oh, fine, fine lass. Whether you'll follow the same path remains to be seen. For one thing, we'll never get anywhere if you stand around chatting up old men all day. Nonsense. If I ever refused to help you when you asked, how confused can one person be anyway? One thing I will say is that this little escapade does remind me a bit of my adventuring days before the war. Those were exciting times. Or at least it would remind me of those times if we didn't stand around. What's keeping you? You're too young to be so talkative. Shoo! Shoo!
You felt it, yes? Another vision? The Force continues to work through us, showing us the star maps unearthed by Reverend Malak. There are some who believe Korriban is the birthplace of the Sith. This planet is an evil place. There are secrets here best left uncovered. You were right, of course. We cannot turn away from the path we have started on, no matter where it may lead. During the vision, I felt cold and trapped, almost as if I was buried alive. It felt like we were in some kind of tomb. No doubt things will become more clear once we discover the star map's location. Maybe you're right. Most of the Dark Jedi would only know me by name, but there are a few among them who might recognize my face. For the safety of our mission, I must remain on the Ebon Hawk while we are on this planet.
How may I be of assistance to you, Padawan? What is it you would like to speak to me about? Of course. If there is anything else, I am here to help.
Got something on your mind, do you? Did I say that? Strange the tricks memory plays on you when you get older. Didn't I say that my past was my affair? You don't see me poking and prodding you with questions, do you? I might be, but a mouthy young thing like yourself shouldn't get to call me an old coot, damn it. And besides, you don't really want to hear about me. We're talking ancient history, probably before you were born. History bores kids. Proven fact. Oh, fine, fine. Have it your way. Just don't cry about it later. Yes, I was an adventurer. Happy now? I wasn't even done with my Jedi training back then. I had a full head of hair and an eagerness to see absolutely everything. Sound familiar? The Council was never happy with willful, brash Jolie Bindo, you see. Even less so when I began my smuggling career. At the time, the Yukata system was interdicted by its own king. He preferred to keep his people starving and poor, all the better to oppress them. The Senate was trying to negotiate a peace, but they were getting nowhere as usual. I decided I wasn't going to wait. I found myself a ship and a partner, and we began smuggling food and supplies to the Yukata citizenry through the blockade. Well, we didn't buy all the equipment per se. Some were happy to donate goods. Some we just knew had more than they could use. Stole is such a harsh word. They would have donated those goods readily enough if they were compassionate. I considered it a tax on the greedy. We only got caught once. A lone Yukatish frigate shot us down and forced a crash landing. I thought the Force had abandoned me, as I remember. Well, as it happens, getting shot down turned out to be very fortunate. That day was the day Well, that was the day I met my wife. You know another way to get a wife? But yes, that's when I met her. If it's all the same to you, I'd prefer to stop talking now. My mouth is starting to draw flies.
Yes?
Chipedwana ni bobo. Donk na bungsha. Kachichu aitha odunga. Takum justak miki grabel mogo. Chipedwana ni bobo. Donk na bungsha. Takum justak miki grabel mogo. Kachichu kuya mi jus kachita naipatoga. Ui. Ita nadana yit. Kuya mi jus kachita naipatoga ya fulki. Mucha shakpang.